Welcome to the Jeff
and the Bonch
Show.
It's been a while, buddy.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. You
Yeah.
look really different.
Yeah, I know.
Taller.
It's been a while since you've had a show. I think the best thing we should do is probably just serve the area of the NFL, see where we stand. So would you like to start in the awful conference or the not-so-awful conference?
It's funny because I was just trying to think how good is the NFC really that good that the NFC would be the good conference?
It's definitely better than the other one.
No, there's an awful... All right, let's start with the awful conference.
Let's start with the awful conference, which is the AFC.
Yes.
The AF stands for awful. It's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Bottom line, 5 teams basically in the playoffs already.
Yes.
You have your AFC North champion. I know nothing's clinched yet. I'm just going to say this in general.
Okay, yeah.
AFC North champion are the Bengals. AFC South champion, Indianapolis Colts. The Denver Broncos, most likely the AFC West champions. The Chiefs, most likely a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots winning the AFC East. And then we have that 6th seed. Well, here's my question for you. You have to pick a 6th seed right now in the AFC. Who's your pick? 4 weeks to go. Who's your pick? I mean, how can I not go with the champions, right?
The Ravens.
Again, I don't.
The Dolphins playing Pittsburgh this weekend. They could easily lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh's still sort of in it.
Right.
5-7.
Yeah, anyone
They're
5 and 7
they're
is
gonna
pretty
wanna
much
win.
in it, except for the AFC team in New York, which I'd rather not discuss.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the Ravens are home against the Vikings. That's a win. They're 7-6 right there. Like you said, 8-8 could even get the bye. So
yeah, it's too early
I guess
to
the
talk about
Ravens.
schedules as far as who has a strength schedule. There's 4 weeks left.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks, we'll get down to like scenarios of how you want to make the playoffs. But if I
I guess
had to
I'll go
say,
Ravens too.
I would go Ravens too. Again, this was my original 6th seed pick. Let's move on to a real conference, the NFC. Okay, so we took out the teams that I would say are playoff contenders. We'll now move on and just say, obviously, it doesn't even need the word. We don't even need to say their name.
It's funny because my Seahawks-Broncos pick is looking pretty good from the
Your
start of the year.
Seahawks-Broncos pick?
Yeah, that's what I remember happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't yours. Okay, anyway, New Orleans Saints, despite licking their wounds from the beatdown they got in Seattle, they will be making the playoffs. The other team in the NFC South will be making the playoffs. We'll talk about these 2 teams in a minute.
Okay.
And I would say either you have the 2 NFC East, the battle for the NFC East right now of that terrible division. We have the Cowboys and the Eagles. The NFC North mess, I guess the Lions you would consider the favorite, with the Packers kind of trailing behind and the Bears somewhere in between. And then you have the 2 NFC West wildcard contenders, and the Niners and the Cardinals. So, assuming these 3 teams are in, first question, who's in the NFC North?
I think I picked the Lions.
You picked the Lions as a wild card.
Yeah, so I'll stick with the Lions making the playoffs.
There's something. This Bears team is the same thing as I think we've been talking about this for like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Where they're always the talent looks like it's there and they can never quite put it together.
They'll finish 9-7 and miss the playoffs, and they'll be the 7th.
It's the same
that's
thing
what I
as
feel
always.
Like
And is it bad that without Jay Cutler the offense does not look any worse?
It looks the exact same.
I mean, Josh McCown, who has always been a kind of like a serviceable backup, has played pretty good.
Well, Jay Cutler won't be there next year now.
That's the thing. Jay Cutler's going to contract here. If you're Chicago, you can't resign. I don't think you can resign him.
Yeah.
If a 34-year-old backup journeyman can step in and do the same job that he did.
Yeah.
And yeah, supposedly Cutler might be back this week, but does it make a difference?
No.
Probably not. Actually, I might trust the Bears less with Jay Cutler. Because Jay Cutler's going to throw that terrible interception that's going to cost them a game. And Green Bay,
Man,
it's going to be it's a what if. What if Aaron Rodgers is
without
healthy?
Aaron Rodgers, are they bad or what? It shows you just
how good Aaron Rodgers is.
It does, because they stink.
If there was a debate who the best quarterback in the league is, you want to say the Brady's and the Paytons, it's still Aaron Rodgers to me, because look at the Packers without him.
They're horrendous.
Yeah. Well, their defense was never good to begin with.
Well, they go for being a team that could potentially compete for making the Super Bowl.
Without Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, I thought they were going to win the division. I thought they were still going to
so did I. So did I. When it was about even.
Yeah. And once they're in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers can win you 4 weeks in a row.
And now they stink.
They're bad. Again, they're not out of it yet, but
they will be soon.
They're going to be soon. Then we have the second wild card. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's never been a doubt with the second wild card. Your favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers.
And you know, obviously, who I'm going to pick, because there's no way I can pick the 49ers.
Yes.
because Colin Kaepernick this year is a stinky turd. Remember at the start of this year, you were like, you were saying, oh, he's good. And I was like,
he's good. I never said he was great.
And I said, don't count your chickens. And then
but you've had this bias against 49ers all year. You've been convinced they're not making the playoffs.
And
you have tried.
Stinks. He
is
old.
Not stink.
He's so old. He's gonna be hurt in like a day.
You've been saying that all year, and he's still healthy.
He's due for a monster injury.
Due.
Watch this week.
You've been biased against the Niners all year.
Frank Gore.
You've been trying to convert ways to get them out of the playoffs. Okay.
Overrated.
How'd your Rams over Niners pick go on Sunday?
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because these two teams are both going to make the playoffs.
Okay, that's
and then
fine.
It's going to come down to these two, and I'll take the Cardinals.
You're going to take the Cardinals.
Yes.
Despite the Niners have a game ahead of them and have already beaten the Cardinals.
So the Cardinals will beat them, and then it's a tie. And then it goes.
All right, they're going to win the tiebreaker? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
You're positive on that?
Yes.
You're not even going to look at the standings and see who's the better conference record or anything.
Instincts.
So, all right, we're now going in week 14. Jeff is still not getting off of his Niners will not make the playoffs stance. He's stuck with it all year.
Let's see. Well, let's see. Okay. So this week the 49ers play the Seahawks. That's not going to go
that's
too
a
well.
loss.
And the Cardinals are home against the Rams.
Yes, and I think the Cardinals won that game.
So now you've tied up, and they play each other, don't they?
Yes, they do. But there's another 2 games to be played.
So
what's the rest of the Cardinals' schedule looking like?
I'll put it up there, but it's going to be win-win and loss.
Because you are just you are
I'm not biased.
obsessed with the fact that Niners are making the playoffs.
It's because that. Remember at the beginning of the year I said that, and you said you're crazy.
And I still think you're crazy. I still think you're crazy.
Okay, well we'll see shortly that I'm not crazy.
A couple more weeks, you'll have to finally admit. You'll be first week of wild card. You're like, all right, the Niners are the playoffs, I guess.
I'll be saying it'll be like Niners Cowboys. I'll be like, oh no.
There's 2 teams vying for first place, and in the game of the week, they are playing on Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
The Panthers and the Saints. I think we all know what the Saints are about.
Are they playing on Sunday Night Football?
I think it's Sunday Night Football, yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it is. I think it got flexed.
It flexed in. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, it got flexed into Sunday night.
Why did they flex out Packers Falcons?
I know. I can't believe it.
Damn it! Not again.
It's funny that we're saying that like as a joke.
Man, can you believe it? At the start of this year, you're
like, oh wow, December, Packers Falcons. That's a great game.
For the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Anyway, okay, we know what the Saints are. Fantastic team at home, on the road, susceptible.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a fair word to say. We've now seen them against 2 good defenses. Well, at the time, a good defense, the New York Jets, and last night against the Seahawks. Basically, the Saints on the road and they play a good defense, very easily can be beaten.
All right.
But they are at home this week.
They're home.
But they also are facing an excellent defense in the Carolina Panthers.
All right, I'm going Saints.
You're going Saints. Question. Would you be going Saints if this game was in Carolina?
It'd be a lot tougher. I don't know. I mean, the reason I'm going Saints, though, overall...
Yes.
...is that the Saints, they've done it. They're the Saints. They're Drew Brees. I don't trust the Panthers.
You don't think the Panthers are ready for prime time?
I think they're ready for prime. They're ready for prime time, but they're not ready for prime time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're not ready for.
If it's in Carolina, if it was and they won, then they're ready for prime time. Now they're like a real contender.
Well, Matt, what if they win in New Orleans?
Then they're a real contender.
Then you're like,
oh yeah.
So I think the Panthers now they've won 8 games in a row, which is crazy.
If they can beat the Saints in New Orleans, then you're thinking, oh wow,
they're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, they're a Super Bowl contender. But I still, even despite getting beaten down by the Seahawks, it was in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Seahawks just sort of, from the start, it was one of those games, they sort of happen, and sort of...
That happens in Seattle a lot.
And you even hear, like...
All it takes is, like, one turnover, and then it's
It was
over.
one of those days for the Saints. You even hear afterwards, their flight, like, they had flight problems.
Yeah, they didn't get out until, like, early afternoon today.
Even that went wrong. It was just, nothing could go right for them. I don't know. It's a good matchup. It's really... You're really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm curious. Because, quite frankly, I thought the Panthers were a pretender until they played the Patriots
I thought the Panthers
on Monday
were a
night.
pretender, too.
But then they played the Patriots on Monday night. The defense did a pretty good job against the Patriots. And Cam Newton has been playing pretty damn good lately.
Yeah. I'm still going the Saints just because of Drew Brees.
The Panthers' defense is very, very good.
I know they
are. I don't think Brees is going to go for like 31, 34 points. I think they're going to be held to maybe
I don't know if we'll have
even
to.
23.
I don't know if we'll have to, though.
Oh, you're saying the Panthers aren't even going to get to like, what, 14?
Maybe the Saints win like 2014 or something
really?
like that.
So you're really, you need to see from the Panthers. You're not convinced yet.
I'm not convinced.
I think the Panthers come in this game. If this game wasn't Carolina, I think I would pick the Panthers.
You would.
From what I've seen, their defense it's not good. It is a really good defense.
Yeah.
And their offense is clicking right now. They have Steve Smith. They have Greg Olsen, who's an underrated tight end.
It's weird though because they have Cam Newton. They really have they have Cam Newton, and I like Greg Olsen a lot too. Steve Smith is he's not even overrated because people know he's not great anymore. Though if I told him that, he'd punch me in the
exactly.
face.
Don't tell Steve Smith that.
They don't have any good running backs. Their team is really Cam Newton.
It's funny. They have like 4 running backs, but none of them
they have like 50
D'Angelo, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert, who's I'm a big fan of, is a goal line back, but that's irrelevant.
The truth is that's why if Cam Newton has an off game, they're going to lose.
That's the problem.
They go, let's say they make the playoffs, one bad game from Cam Newton, they lose.
And I'd just say here's the bottom line for this game. Are the Saints going to be off 2 weeks in a row?
No.
No.
It's time for Lock It Up!
Lock it up.
Ching.
Lock it up.
Ever been to prison, Bonch?
No. Have you?
Many times.
Okay.
Or...
Moving on.
I don't know. Stealing fantasy victories. I don't know.
Not this year.
Not this year, though. Alright, locks of the week. I have one that's a super lock.
What's that?
It's Broncos over Titans in Denver.
Gee, why would you pick that as a lock?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's one.
Let's see, what else?
Who are the Seahawks playing this week?
49ers in San Fran.
See, it doesn't matter who the Seahawks are playing. I'm picking them to win no matter what. And I like the Niners unlike you. I'm not picking against the Seahawks until later. Ever. I'm not picking Seahawks against the rest of the year.
So you don't want to change your Super Bowl pick that you made?
No, it is
didn't you make the Super Bowl pick?
The day after the Super Bowl.
The day after last year's Super Bowl.
That's right.
You didn't even wait till after preseason.
No.
This is your original.
This is the Monday after Super Bowl pick, and I am sticking with it. And where we are now in December, and they're the top 2 teams in the East Conference.
Come on, Packers, Bengals.
You did pick Packers, Bengals. Well, yeah, wait a minute. Since we're here,
right?
It is our week where we changed the Super Bowl picks. At last look, you had the Broncos and the Saints. Would you like to deviate from the New Orleans Saints after watching last night's game?
Sure.
Yes? Are you going with Seattle?
Going with Seattle.
Are you hopping on my bandwagon pick?
I don't know if I can do that, though.
Well, here's your options. You have the Saints. You have the Seahawks.
I'll bet the Seahawks.
You're not going to go with the 49ers.
No, I'm talking about the AFC is actually what I'm talking about.
Oh, you don't want to go with the Broncos? Okay. So you're joining me with the Seahawks. Are you changing your Broncos pick? Here's your options. You have the Bengals.
Yes.
You have the Colts.
Yes.
You have the Patriots.
I'm changing it.
You have the Dolphins and the Ravens.
I'm changing it.
Who are you changing it to?
Ugh, I hate it.
You're picking the Patriots, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I know it pains Jeff.
It pains me greatly, but
sorry.
What if Peyton Manning just can't win in the cold? And what if his injury is a little bit more severe than he's letting on? The truth is that none of the teams in the AFC are that good. Mm-hmm. And when nobody's that good, I'll go with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
That's a good point.
Because they still... what is this? They're not great this year, but they just get it done. They get the wins.
Okay, so just to review, I've had the Broncos Seahawks all year. At last change, Jeff hopped on my Broncos pick, but picked a different NFC team. Now he's hopping on the Seahawks pick, picking an NFC team.
That's right.
Maybe in 4 weeks, and we get like our Super Bowl predictions going to the playoffs, you'll finally join me and realize who the best 2 teams in the league are, and what the Super Bowl will be.
Or maybe it'll be the game before the championship games.
Maybe
that's when I'll finally join you.
January. That'll switch. No, you know what? I don't want I want the Bengals now.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Cincy.
You know what? I'll never switch it to though.
The 49ers.
49ers. That's for sure.
I hope they make another run just to see your face.
You know what's gonna happen? The 49ers will somehow win the Super Bowl this year, and I'll lose it.
Or the Bengals will make the Super Bowl. The Packers will get Aaron Rodgers back, go on a run, win the division, make the Super Bowl.
If it's Packers-Bengals, I'm still going to be like...
I picked it, but then I let it go!
I'm still going to proclaim my genius.
Yeah, okay, after changing your pick 5 times.
I still deep down know it's going to be Packers-Bengals. I just don't want to...
You're trying to get everyone off the scent of your pick?
What it is you need it to be exact. I get all of those things in any combination.
Yeah,
That's how it goes. Okay, so back to Lock It Up.
Yeah.
Are there any other games that are super locks? I like the Chargers at home against the Giants.
Yes, and the Chargers aren't out of that playoff race.
They're not out of it yet.
I was going to mention them. Of the 5 and 7s, I like them the best. Of when the Steelers and the Jets.
Yeah.
And the Titans. I like the Chargers. If someone's going to win 4 in a row and he got 9 and 7, I like the Chargers.
I think the other lock is Chiefs versus Redskins.
It's funny. Funny you said that.
Really?
Upset special! I'm picking the Redskins to win.
Really?
Yeah, I know how bad the Redskins
You're
are.
crazy.
Yeah, I am crazy. But there isn't, if you look at the games, no upset pick I really like this week. There's not one that's like jumps out on the page.
I like how, because this is just like the betting line. So underdog, I highlighted Dolphins over Steelers.
Exactly.
It's like the worst upset.
That's not
pick
even
ever.
an upset. I would say the
It's like-
Dolphins are probably should be favored in that game.
3-point underdogs in this.
But it's not even about the Redskins. The Redskins are awful. I'm not saying they aren't.
They're
but
horrendous.
Just you just see the Chiefs
Wait,
now
you mean-
losing 6 or 7 in a row to
You mean the
finish
Kansas
season?
City collapse?
Yeah.
If you will? 'Cause
Come
that's
on.
what's happening.
I mean, yeah, they lost 2 games to the Broncos. No shame in that. They lost to a Chargers team who isn't terrible.
No, I know, but you just have the feeling that
It's coming.
it's
It's just like it's.
they're falling off a
I
cliff.
never liked that Chiefs team. Even at 9-0, I didn't like that Chiefs team.
We just don't like Andy Reid.
That's part of it, but it's more of just the teams they beat. You know, there's no more Jeff Tools and Ryan Fitzpatrick's they're playing.
Yeah, well, that was the thing with all the early games. They were playing nobody.
Backup
They were
quarterbacks.
playing
Like they had the
nobody.
luckiest schedule of
Yeah.
all time. Not just for the teams they were playing. They just with injuries they were playing these backups.
I think the Redskins are just too bad.
they are. That's why I
you're
was
picking a
hesitating.
bottom 5 team.
Yeah, they're and they don't have a draft pick either. They traded that in the RG3 trade.
You're right.
They don't even have it. So the Redskins are screwed.
Yeah, they're bad.
But, you know, wouldn't it be fitting for the Chiefs to lose on the road to a terrible team like the Redskins?
Why would it be fitting?
Because just to show that they are really collapsing, they're not
okay.
going to lose to the terrible teams they were beating before.
I have an upset pick. How about the Jets over anybody? Thank you for watching the Jeff
And the Bonch.
Show.
We'll be back next week.
We will be
It won't be
back
another
next
2
week.
months until you see us.
We will be back.
We're in the home stretch. You're going to see us every week to the Super Bowl. Let's make
Yeah.
that guarantee right now.
I'll guarantee it.
You'll see us
We'll have
through
some playoff
January.
excitement. We have end of the year excitement.
Yeah, we're getting good.
Awards. We're almost
yeah.
getting to the good stuff.
We're
It's sorta
we're really close.
the last little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Though there's not as many good wild card / playoff races.
There's not
as
a lot
usual.
of money
There's really
races,
not.
but you never know, especially with the teams involved, like the Cowboys and the Bears.
Yeah, I guess so.
You never know what's going to happen.
It's true.
That's the NFL for you.
Goodbye, America.
Shalom. Remember when we had the baseball playoffs and there was that late night Sunday game? I like that a lot more than having the Thursday game.
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Yeah, where the Sunday game ended and then there was the late game on the
Well, it's
West
just
Coast.
because you get all those wimps who are like, I can't stay up that late. Well, what about the people on the West Coast? They have to wake up at 10.
Yeah,
Ooh.
their first NFL game starts at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they can't
Which means
have
to watch
a
the
nice...
pregame shows, you have to start watching at 9.
When are they supposed to have brunch?